5 things you didn't know about You Can't Do That on Television next on Retro Serial. Hey everyone, you're watching Retro Serial. I'm your host, Ian C. You Can't Do That on Television was a Canadian sketch comedy show much like Laugh-In or Saturday Night Live. But instead of adults, it featured teens and preteens. Every episode revolves around a particular theme or issue like drug use or safety. Much of the show was dedicated to the youthful idea that kids ruled and adults drooled. You Can't Do That on Television ran for 10 seasons, first appearing on CGOH-TV in Ottawa in 1979, but appeared on Nickelodeon in 1981. It ran on Nick from 1981 to 1990 when it was canceled, but Nickelodeon still ran reruns until 1994 when it was taking off the air completely. And while you may have already known all of that, here are 5 things about You Can't Do That on Television that you may not have known. But before we do that, please do me the honor of hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this on your favorite social media. If you want to know when these things are available, you're always welcome to hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single episode of Retro Serial. Those things right there mean the world to me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Those are all free for you, but they mean a lot to us here at the channel. If you want to go a step further and support us financially, you're always welcome to join our Patreon page where you can find 2 levels of support. The first level is the Cornflake Club, which is just $3 a month, and it's a tip jar just saying, hey, we like what you're doing over there, please keep it up. But if you want to be on the Insiders Club, you have to join the Honeycomb Hideout, which is $5 a month. And with that, you get most all videos and most all podcasts at least 1 day in advance. And now you can support us as a one-time gift on Venmo at Singularity_Productions. With all that said, let's go ahead and get to our 5 things you didn't know about You Can't Do That on Television. Coming in at number 5, the origin of green slime. Of course, you can't talk about You Can't Do That on Television without discussing green slime. The iconic green slime was poured over a cast member every time they said, I don't know. Not only did us kids love this gross out gag, green slime helped brand Nickelodeon altogether. But did you know that green slime wasn't originally supposed to be green? No, it was actually just leftover cafeteria food mixed with water. The problem is that the set had not yet been finished. You know, that iconic set with the bars, the white bars, and that dome kind of shape. Well, that wasn't finished yet. And by the time it was finished, the cafeteria food mixed with water had turned green due to mold. Here's a bonus fact for you. The first person to ever have green slime poured over them was cast member Tim Douglas. Now, I think it's lucky that they had this delay and it did turn green because I'm not quite sure it would have been the iconic gag that it was unless it was green. What do you think? Do you think that if it had just been leftover cafeteria food mixed with water, that it would have been as popular as it was? And do you think it would have made the impact on Nickelodeon? You let me know in the comment section below. Coming in at number 4, Christine is Moose. You Can't Do That on Television would not be what it was without its incredible cast. Personally speaking, I thought Alistair and Doug were the funniest. I also really liked Lisa, but I felt bad for her at times because she seemed to be the butt of many of the jokes. But at the top of it all was the lovely, lovely Christine. However, I was always very puzzled as to why they called her Moose. Well, it turns out that it was a real nickname given to her before she was even on the show. It was taken from the character Moose of the Archie comics, and it was applied to her ironically. She was actually very petite and not imposing at all, unlike the Archie comic character Moose. She originally protested in keeping the name, but it stuck like many of these nicknames do. Eventually, it was faded out over time and people stopped calling her Moose altogether. Like many of these nicknames, you just kind of grow out of them and you just have to get used to people calling you that. Did you ever have an embarrassing nickname? Please leave it in the comments section below. I will share with you my embarrassing nickname that was stuck with me for, a couple of years when I was younger and actually much heavier. There was a group of people who actually called me Beanbag. I hated that nickname, so I could totally understand why Christine would hate being called Moose. Again, did you have a nickname that you hated and did you grow out of it like I did? Yes, so let me know in the comments section below. And coming in at number 3, the only cast member to appear in every single episode of You Can't Do That on Television was an adult. Like I said in the introduction, You Can't Do That on Television is a kids show aimed at kids and performed by kids and is built around the idea that kids rule and adults drool. But really, in order to make that stick, you need some adults in order to be the butt of the jokes. And all the adult females were played by Abby Haggard, but all the adult males were played by Les Lyle. Les Lyle was a graduate of the Lauren Green Academy of Radio Arts, and he also starred in another kids show, Uncle Willie and Floyd. Like I stated, he played all the adults, all the way from Barth, who ran the restaurant, to the stage director, to the father figure, and a lot of other male adult roles on the television show. And while the kids kept cycling through, mostly due to age, he was the only member of the cast who was there from the very beginning to the very end, and he was in every single episode. With that said, I want to know, what is your favorite adult character that Les Lyle played? I really like the stage director guy, but honestly, this is very interesting because as I was a kid, I really thought that he was the same guy who played Schneider in One Day at a Time. I really thought that he was the same. In my kid brain, those two people were the same actor. As I look back now on the pictures, I can see that they are not, and in fact were not. But as a kid, in my brain, it was so weird. They were the same person. What was your favorite character that he played on You Can't Do That on Television? Let me know in the comments section below. And coming in at number 2, a SpinOff Show. You Can't Do That on Television was such a popular show in Canada that before the first season even ended, it had its own spin-off show called Whatever Turns You On. It was also a sketch comedy show aimed at teens and preteens, much like You Can't Do That on Television, and it even had some of the same cast, most notably Christine, Lisa, and Les. Instead of an hour, it was a half an hour, but for various reasons, it was short-lived. One of those reasons was that instead of appearing on Saturday morning, it appeared on Tuesday nights, and a lot of the syndicates just refused to carry it. And unfortunately, only after 13 episodes, it was taken off the air and canceled. I have to say that even though I was a big fan of You Can't Do That on Television, I have never even seen a single episode of Whatever Turns You On. Have you seen an episode of Whatever Turns You On? Let me know in the comments section below. And coming in at number 1, the origin of the title You Can't Do That on Television is rather dirty. As many of you know, You Can't Do That on Television was an edgy boundary pusher of a TV show, particularly as it is aimed at teens and preteens. In fact, one episode revolved around adoption was taken off the air after only appearing twice. They took it off the air due to the fact of the irreverent attitudes surrounding the much sensitive subject.
Constables put their kids up for adoption will not be seen at this time, in order that we may bring you this even sadder orphan of a show.
The irreverence was there from the beginning. It might shock and surprise you to know that the title, You Can't Do That on Television, was inspired by George Carlin's 7 words you can't say on TV. But instead of 7 words you can't say on TV, we got You Can't Do That on Television. This came in at number 1 for me because it was the most shocking fact that I learned in doing the research for this video. What do you think was the most important fact, or was there any facts that I left out? Please mention them in the comment section below. Let me just go off script here for a moment and tell you that yes, it was an edgy boundary pusher, and much of my bad attitude as a teen and preteen was actually blamed on watching You Can't Do That on Television. Yes, from time to time, I was banned from watching Nickelodeon altogether and watching You Can't Do That on Television, particularly because I was just sporting this bad attitude. And my mom would tell me, and my grandmother would tell me, you can't watch that anymore. It's giving you a bad attitude. If this kind of thing happened to you, let me know in the comments section below. And if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it on your favorite social media. And if you want to help us out financially, you can do so by visiting the links below where you can make your financial donation. Till we meet again, I'm Ian C, and you're watching Retro Serial. Stay retro, everyone.